hot topic question right now that everybody's asking is, how do you stop mass killings? Well, simple answer is you don't. You can't. These events are caused by bad people, regardless of motive, whether it be jealousy or greed or domestic or foreign terrorism, doesn't matter. They've got it in their head that they're going to commit these acts, and as far as preventing them, there's only so much that can be done, and you're never gonna stop them. Doesn't matter what you ban, doesn't matter what you get rid of, what you regulate, you're never gonna get rid of them completely. And before I get into this, I wanted to tip my hat to the Texas Attorney General, because he was being interviewed by Fox News, and the reporter kept trying to angle the conversation towards legislation and, what can we do, what can we pass to prevent these acts, and he kept angling it back towards being, basically an issue where you can't really help it, and that the only thing you can do is carry a gun yourself. An armed society is a polite society, and the only thing you're going to be able to do to prevent events like this and limit loss of life is stop them. You have to meet them with an equal or superior force and stop them. And that's the problem, is you don't hear that on the news. All you hear in the media is more legislation, we've got to control guns, got to control this and that. Well, the fact of the matter is in the last two events, the church shooting in Texas and the guy running the truck through New York, both events, you know what stopped the guy? A gun. A good guy with a gun. In New York it was a cop, and in Texas I believe it was a private citizen who tracked the guy down and was able to stop him. I also tip my hat to that guy. And that's the problem, is everybody in the left and the media wants to go on about legislation. They want to pass something that's going to make this not happen anymore. And I can understand that. You know what? Nobody wants these events to happen. It's a terrible, it's a terrible thing to happen when, someone walks into a building of people minding their own business on a Sunday and open fires for, I believe he was attempting to take out a family member or a couple family members, and I'm not quite sure how that turned into what it did, but for whatever reason, those people didn't need to be involved, and it's a pointless loss of life. But back to how you stop this and how you can prevent it. You notice these people are cowards. They're not going after police stations, they're not going after military bases, they're not going after places, they're not walking into gun shops and doing this. They're walking into the schools, they're walking into churches, they're going where they can find soft targets. The Las Vegas shooting, the guy sat up on how many floors up in a hotel room where nobody could get to him because he was a coward. The New York incident, the guy got in a truck and drove through one of the heaviest regulated cities in the country because he knew that it was the path of least resistance. The Texas incident yesterday, the guy went into a church where he knew that people wouldn't be carrying. So to that I say, carry a gun. If it was up to me, I say we arm every man and woman in this country capable and able to operate and own a firearm. And guess what? They'll find it a lot harder to commit these acts, because every time that they try and plan these things out, they're going to run into hard targets, and that's what they don't want. They don't want to run into hard targets. They don't want to go out in a blaze of gunfire. They want their 15 minutes of fame, and they want to inflict whatever damage they want to inflict. And one of the main problems is you've got the liberal mentality of, and I noticed this when I was in school, it was, oh, if you ignore them, it'll go away. Oh, if you just give them what they want, they'll go away. These people committing these acts, they're not bank robbers. They're not in it to make a profit. They're not doing this to, further some thing that's going to line their pockets. They're just doing it because that's what they want to do. They have evil intent, and that's how they decided to further that intent. They don't want your wallet. They don't want your money. They don't want your car. They don't want your house. They don't want anything. They just want to kill you. And that's the thing that nobody in the media wants to touch on, the fact that there is no negotiation with terrorists. That's the U.S. policy. We do not negotiate with terrorists. Well, it's time we start standing up to that. And that's why I'm saying, go out, get your concealed carry permit, take a course if you can, and we'll all be a lot safer that way. Because if some guy walks into a crowded room and he's one bad guy with, whatever he's carrying, or he's got a truck, or he's got whatever, or he's, riding down the street with a six-pack and a lawnmower and a shotgun, guess what? When every single place he turns, there's somebody, a good guy with a gun, it's going to make it a lot harder to commit these acts. And it's going to send a message to the people planning out these acts that it's not going to work. That you're not going to be able to do what you wanted to accomplish. So, as I said, you want to stop these acts. You want to help prevent them. You want to make it that they don't happen as much. Be the good guy with a gun that stops the bad guy with a gun.